In the early 90s, Janice Burgess was working at the Children's Television Workshop when there was a job opening at Nickelodeon. After many interviews, Burgess was hired as the executive in charge of production for Nick Jr., where she'd oversee the development of Little Bill and Blue's Clues, and was later promoted to vice president. Eventually, she was asked to pitch her own show, and the result was Me and My Friends, a live-action mascot show starring 4 animal characters: Pablo the Penguin, Tyrone the Moose, Tasha the Hippo, and Uniqua the whatever. The latter based on an idealized version of Burgess as a child. Designed by Dan Yaccarino, creator of Oswald, and Michael Lennox, an artist from Nick Digital. Filmed at Nickelodeon Studios, Florida. There's also 3 meerkats, who Pablo consults. Besides those 4 characters playing in their backyard, and the show starting off with a roll call of sorts, Tasha! This pilot bears little resemblance to the Backyardigans. It's entirely confined to this one set, and instead of a big adventure, it revolves around a low-stakes problem a child might encounter: learning to wait. There is a song and dance number in there, though not nearly as good as the final show's song and dance numbers. In the show, they did the smart thing of getting kids who could sing. Tyrone, Uniqua, and Tasha are treated pretty interchangeably here, but Pablo is pretty close to how he's portrayed in the final show, and there's probably more fourth wall breaking here. All in all, though, I can see why it wasn't picked up, with Nick Jr.'s senior vice president Brown Johnson asking Burgess to retool it, feeling it would work better in animation. And for once, I have to side with a network executive and say that she was totally right. A CG pilot was made in 2002, which Nickelodeon liked enough to greenlight a full series. The show was renamed The Backyardigans, and at some point, Austin the Kangaroo was added to the cast. Much of the creative team came from the aforementioned shows Blue's Clues and Little Bill, and it was co-produced by Canadian animation studio Nelvana, who Nick Jr. had imported many of its shows from. On October 11, 2004, The Backyardigans made its TV debut.
Hey, I'm Pablo. This is my backyard. But it's not just a backyard. Sometimes it's a raging ocean. And sometimes it's a mighty castle. And sometimes it's a deep, dark jungle. But it's never boring, and it's always amazing and outstanding, and whoa! Come play with us, okay? Okay.
Join the Backyardigans starting next Monday at 11:10 Central on Nick Jr.
The primary location of the Backyardigans is, well, the backyard. The primary characters are Pablo the Penguin, Tyrone the Moose, Tasha the Hippo, Austin the Kangaroo, and Uniqua the whatever. Uniqua is the only one in every episode. Pablo is absent only for 1, Tyrone is absent for only 5, Tasha appears in 52 of the 77 episodes, and Austin appears in 45. There isn't much in terms of side characters. There's the Wormans, who appear in several episodes, most notably Sherman and his brother Herman, who appears in the episode Polka Palace Party. There's also this alien design, which is used anytime they need aliens. And this clam from The Legend of the Volcano Sisters reappears in The Great Dolphin Race. There's also these moments, which definitely scared the crap out of kids.
Thanks for my toll.
You're welcome.
It's great to be a ghost.
Who said that?
While technically every episode takes place in the backyard, we only see it at the beginning and end of each episode, because every episode has the characters using their imaginations to go on extraordinary adventures. Of all these Nick Jr. shows, this is the one with the loosest format. The episodes can take place anywhere at any time, tackle any genre, and the characters can take on any role. Though you do start to notice patterns, like the show loves its misunderstanding plots, and they do still have consistent personality traits that balance each other out. Pablo is anxious, Tyrone is laid back, Uniqua is confident, Austin is shy, and Tasha is unbearable. Her catchphrase is,
"Oh, for goodness sakes."
That tells you all you need to know. Just kidding. She's not as bad as I remember. most of the time, but still the worst Backyardigan. If I had to pick a favorite, I previously said it was Pablo, but after watching the whole show, it's a close call between him and Austin. And Tyrone and Uniqua aren't far behind either. Early on, the former was shown to be nervous at times, but it's a characterization that was quickly dropped. A running gag early on was that the exact object they'd need would appear nearby, and he'd say,
"That certainly is convenient."
He also somehow had pockets despite not wearing pants, ranking them worst to best based on drip. Uniqua, skin-colored overalls. Tasha, orange floral dress and orange shoes. Tyrone, Chris Chan clown shirt. Pablo, propeller hat and bow tie. That's all you need. And number 1, Austin, with his yellow striped blue shirt and blue pants. The main characters were always voiced by child actors, who of course had to be replaced across the show's run. The only constants were LaShawn Jeffries as Uniqua, Jonah Bobo as Austin, who also co-starred in Zafura alongside Josh Hutcherson, and Sean Curley as Pablo's singing voice. Uniqua's singing voice was provided by Jamie Simone Nash until season 4, when she was replaced by Avion Baker, who sounds similar but just not as good. Sorry.
We're tramping through the bush. On and on we push. The east and west side is just as good as here.
They also re-recorded the theme song, and again, doesn't sound as good.
Your backyard friends, the Backyardigans. Your backyard friends, the Backyardigans.
In season 1, Pablo is voiced by Zach Tyler Eisen, who would go on to voice Aang in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and previously voiced Andrew in Little Bill. In season 2, he's replaced by Jake Goldberg, who sounds similar enough to where you quickly get used to it. Tyrone is first voiced by Reginald Davis Jr., who is replaced by Jordan Coleman in Whodunit, who proceeds to voice him for the rest of season 2 and the entirety of season 3. And finally is voiced by Chris Grant Jr. in season 4, which is the only recast that I'd say is jarringly different.
My name's Tyrone. My name's Tyrone.
He goes through 4 different singing voices throughout the show. Corwin C. Tuggles in season 1, Leon Thomas III, who would later play Andre in Victorious, sings for him from season 2 up to What's Bugging You, then Damani Roberts from Chichen Itza Pizza to Front Page News, and finally Tyrell Jackson Williams, who later starred as Leo Dooley in Lab Rats, sings for him for the remainder of the series. Tasha is voiced by Nayeli Ray in the first 2 seasons, and Gianna Bruzese in the last 2. Her singing is provided by Kristen Klabunde up to What's Bugging You, and provided by Gabriella Malik for the remainder of the series. Austin's singing is provided by Thomas Sharkey for the first 3 seasons, who also voiced Baby Jaguar on Go Diego Go, and Shovel in season 6 of Blue's Clues, and provided by Nicholas Barish in season 4. Also, there's a UK dub where instead of child actors, they're all voiced by adult voice actresses, and it sounds horrible.
Your backyard friends, the Backyardigans.
It's interesting that they decided to have separate speaking actors and singers when you consider that all of the singers on the show could also act. The singing voices were usually noticeably different from the speaking voices. Early on, they tried to mask this by having spoken dialogue during the songs, but they do this less as the show goes on. Either way, these were all some very talented kids who did a great job breathing life into these characters, and the fact that they're effectively playing different characters in each episode allowed them to flex their range. This show has a cheeky sense of humor with how it parodies genres through a child's lens, which makes it enjoyable for all ages. Though the show also has a propensity for running gags that get annoying. Early on, they frequently did the joke of,
That was delicious. You can say that again.
That was delicious.
completely unironically, which has never been funny ever. The animation is okay for TV CG from the era. They wisely kept the character designs very simple, and when they try to do more detail, it doesn't look too good. Yeah, despite starring anthropomorphic animals, not every animal is sapient, and on several occasions the locations are decorated with human portraits, which implies the Backyardigans are at least aware of humans. I mean, they do address us in every episode, and in Mission to Mars, Uniqua refers to the human race.
To explore a new planet for the whole human race.
Unlike most CG shows which deliberately limit themselves, they were building new assets for every episode, which is commendable. Your tax dollars at work, Canadians. The characters move very fluidly, allowing for some well-choreographed song numbers. That's the most praised aspect of the show, and for good reason. Each episode has 4 songs, and they somehow managed to come up with a slightly unique music genre for every episode. And they're not always what you'd expect, like they might do a western with a hip-hop soundtrack, and most of these songs are very good. The lyrics are simple and the rhymes can be kind of forced, but I do think there's a level of self-awareness and are still very catchy and fun. Which ones don't appeal to you are probably going to depend more on the genre than the song's individual qualities. In season 1, they made a point to give every episode a song set to the tune of a pre-existing song. They still do this in most episodes in season 2. By the end of season 3, it's very rare. In terms of educational value, the show primarily focuses on nurturing creativity and music appreciation, but they will still have morals every now and then, and their adventures will take them around the world, allowing them to educate kids on other cultures. Compared to the previous Nick Jr. shows I've reviewed, there really just isn't as much to chew on with this show, in terms of analysis. It's another near-perfect preschool show like Blue's Clues, and unlike Blue's Clues, it's remarkably consistent from start to finish. There's no major character exits, or format changes, or tonal shift, or creative shakeup, nor is there ever a noticeable drop in quality, which I think is because of the limitless possibilities of the show's premise. They never had to resort to reason ideas or scrape in the bottom of the barrel. It's still the same show at the end that it was at the start. So for the first time since Yo Gabba Gabba, let's just count down my favorite episodes. These are my top 10 Backyardigans episodes. Number 10, Super Team Awesome. This one's notable for its ridiculously high stakes. A boulder threatening to plug a geyser, causing the earth to split in half. So superheroes Princess Strongblossom, played by Uniqua, Pirate Pablo, and Jungle Girl Tasha have to learn to work together with help from tour guide Tyrone, with a little message at the end about how everyone can be a superhero. This was the last season and the stakes were probably higher than they'd ever been before. Number 9, Mission to Mars. Uniqua, Pablo, and Austin are astronauts sent by ground controllers Tyrone and Tasha to Mars in a space shuttle, which apparently dates this episode. Their mission is to investigate a strange audio signal. They discover the source is a baby Martian in an underground Martian city whose mother is voiced by Alicia Keys, and that in Martian everything is boinga. One of the show's most memorable episodes, with everything having to do with Mars and the Martians, and the rover acting like an actual dog, and some of the best songs in the show's catalog. We're going to Mars, we're ready for anything, astronauts never give up, and almost everything is boinga here. Number 8, Samurai Pie. An episode about samurais who make pies and fight ninjas, and the soundtrack is spaghetti western. I don't know whose idea it was to combine all these seemingly random elements, but it makes for one of the show's most memorable episodes, and really does feel like something a child might come up with. Also, the songs are really good. Number 7, Robin Hood the Clean. Uniqua, Tyrone, and Tasha live in Stinkingham, which is ruled by Mayor Stinky Pants, played by Austin, where everything is dirty. After Stinky Pants locks up the last bar of soap, Tyrone is finally fed up and decides to leave town and enlists the help of Robin Hood the Clean, played by Pablo. Tyrone participates in the Dirt Festival, where all the games are rigged in the mayor's favor, while Pablo infiltrates the dungeon, reclaiming all the bath products and cleaning the fountain so the townsfolk can bathe in it. In a battle of clean versus dirty between Robin Hood and Stinky Pants, Robin Hood is able to force him into the fountain. At first he's horrified, but is won over by a rubber duck.
It quacked. Cool. Hello, Mayor Stinky Pants.
Number 6, Front Page News. It's the Gang Becomes Superheroes episode. How could I not love it? They actually did a few of these, but this is their best one. Tasha is the photographer for Bigopolis Big News, but also secretly a superhero named Super Snap with super speed. Pablo plays her angry boss who wants her to get a front page picture, in what is definitely his funniest role.
I tried to draw a picture, but it's just not the same.
A robot is attacking a bridge, and Tyrone, as Bubble Man, is trying to stop it. Tasha gets distracted helping him and forgets to take pictures.
That was the big news of the day. Giant robots like that only attack Bigopolis once, maybe twice a week.
That same robot attacks the airport, and Uniqua as Bug Girl is trying to stop it. The same thing happens. Then that robot attacks the city again. This time Bubble Man and Bug Girl are trying to stop it. Tasha finds out all the robot wants is to have its picture taken, reveals her secret identity, and everyone is happy. Number 5, International Super Spy. What better way to kick off the top 5 than with the show's first ever double-length episode, renamed Super Secret Super Spy for the DVD. My guess is because kids can read that better. It sets the precedent for these by beginning with a unique intro with a funky instrumental rendition of the show's theme song. Considering how high-scale the show's episodes already are, it was unsurprisingly easy for them to convert them to a movie format. Though unlike the 2 that followed, which have double the songs as usual, this one sticks to the normal 4. Pablo is a smooth secret agent named Agent Secret who drinks juice instead of alcohol. He's hired by Miss T, played by Tasha, to protect free containers from the evil Lady in Pink, played by Uniqua, and with a theme song sung by Cyndi Lauper.
Who's the girl who's got bad on her mind? Who thinks evil thoughts with a smile and a wink?
Tyrone is her assistant, and throughout this mission, which takes him around the world, Pablo is helped by undercover Agent Austin. The Lady in Pink tricks Agent Secret into giving her the containers, and is it just me or is there some romantic tension between them? Not Pablo and Uniqua, they're kids, but Agent Secret and the Lady in Pink. They have that kind of relationship where they admire each other's intelligence despite opposing each other.
It's too bad that you're so evil, Lady in Pink. You're extremely clever. You'd have made an excellent international super spy.
It turns out all she wanted to do was make chocolate milk, and Agent Secret is able to convert her to the side of good. The half-assed villain redemptions work a bit better in this show than others, since in reality they are all supposed to be friends. Number 4, Tale of the Mighty Knights, the show's second TV movie. This one being a medieval fantasy rock opera where King Pablo challenges knights Uniqua and Tyrone to guard his egg while he's gone, which seems simple enough until it rolls off, ending up in the hands of the Grabbing Goblin, played by Austin. There's also a lot of egg puns, by the way.
He poached our egg. The egg! It's scrambled. Nobody said this adventure would be over easy.
Let's snap, crackle, and pop out of here.
The egg sprouts legs and runs away after they lose it going down a waterfall, and they reluctantly let the Grabbing Goblin join them on their quest. It ends up in the hands of the flighty fairy, played by Tasha, before it sprouts wings and flies to Dragon Mountain. They all follow it, where they find that it's hatched and are chased off a cliff by a dragon. Look at them acknowledging their mortality here.
Very well, good travelers. It hath been swell.
Yes, it was delightful to meet you.
I'll miss all of you.
Hey, can't you fly?
It of course turns out that the dragon hatched from the egg, and he saves them and flies them back to the castle, accompanied by a kick-ass music number with vocals by Adam Pascal, also the narrator. And it turns out this whole thing was their challenge, and the dragon's name is Dragon. This episode is so good, it's the only one to get a sequel episode in the form of the final episode produced, The Tale of the Not-So-Nice Dragon, which is fine. It trades in the rock opera soundtrack for a 1930s Broadway soundtrack, and follows Grabbin' Goblin, Flighty Fairy, and Dragon as they have to save the knights and king from the titular not-so-nice dragon, who of course they make nice at the end. Every episode was so different and so high scale that it would have been hard to make a finale, and this wasn't really meant to be one, so yeah. Number 3, Robot Rampage. The last and the best of the TV movies in my opinion, and it's also the only one to not air primetime or have a special guest star. The DVD also renames it a Robot Repairman, even though Robot Rampage is the better and more epic sounding name. Austin is a robot repairman in Mega City who never gets any work because robots never break. He even sings a whole song about it. The music genre, roller disco. As fate would have it, it's on this day that robots malfunction all over town. It turns out to be the work of Professor Bug, who's using bugs to control all the robots. This is Pablo in probably his most villainous role, and he absolutely kills it.
Every robot rascal's hiding. Rex will find him. And when he does, I'll bug that robot. Ha 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 ha!
It's really jarring in the 2-part version how they jump straight from our heroes being surrounded by infected robots to the usual cheery end credits music.
We're trapped!
They're able to infiltrate his lair by disguising themselves as infected robots. Wait, where have I seen this before? Of course, Austin is able to take Professor Bug's remote and free the robots from his control, and Professor Bug agrees to help repair all the robots. Number 2, Pablo and the Acorns. Simply put, this episode is really cute. Tyrone, Tasha, and Austin are Acorn Scouts who plan to climb a mountain to earn merit badges. Meanwhile, while fighting Unique War for a powerful crystal, space villain Pablo falls to Earth, and the crystal falls on top of the mountain. So Pablo demands they lead him up the mountain to get the crystal, but on the way, the Acorns teach him it's better to be nice. Aww, and even Unique War is won over. And again, they acknowledge their mortality.
This is it, Acorns.
It was nice knowing you.
Number 1, The Secret of Snow. My favorite episode, and also the show's first Christmas episode. Kind of. All but one of the songs is based on a Christmas carol. It ends with Happy Holidays, and aired during December. It's a Christmas episode. The show later had a more blatant Christmas episode in the form of The Action Elves Save Christmas Eve, which is okay. Conan O'Brien as Santa Claus was a very odd choice. The Secret of Snow takes place inside a storybook narrated by Austin, who's also a character in the story. It still begins and ends in the backyard, meaning we've got a framing device inside a framing device. Uniqua loves snow and wants to know how to make it, so narrator Austin points her to the Ice Lady in the Icy North, who has a factory where she makes her assistant Austin fill the world with ice. She loves ice so much that she replaces God's name with it.
Who in the name of ice is that?
This is probably Tasha's best role as a villain with how cartoonishly mean they make her. When she sees Uniqua at her door, she banishes her to the desert where she meets Cowboy Pablo, who also wants to see snow, so she lets him join her on her way back to the factory. Kind of like the Wizard of Oz. But when they get there, she sends them to the jungle where they meet Tyrone. They all go to the factory, and this time Austin helps them infiltrate it. But Tasha catches them and puts them to work. But together, they're able to make work fun. In retaliation, Tasha makes the machine go faster and faster until it breaks and she gets buried in ice, which they save her from and all make nice, but also find out that you can't make snow. But conveniently at that moment, it snows anyway. Just an episode that all around embodies everything I love about the show. The Backyardigans was another smash hit for Nick Jr., praised by critics and receiving all the tie-in media and award nominations that come with that, so you might be surprised it didn't last longer. Well, a 5th season was planned in 2009, and Nickelodeon wanted to keep it going for many more years, but then in 2010, Janice Burgess left to work on Nickelodeon's revival of Winx Club, and brought much of the crew with her. Only 8 of season 4's 19 episodes would air on Nickelodeon, and besides the TV movie, all of them to coincide with special themed events, except for The Flipper, which rather inexplicably premiered on April 25th, 2013, and the Backyardigans would last air on Nickelodeon Nickelodeon on April 29th with a rerun of International Super Spy. Any remaining episodes would premiere sporadically on the Nick Jr. channel, one of them at 3 a.m., with the last one being Pablo and the Acorns on July 12, 2013 at 6 p.m., also marking the last time the show would air on Nick Jr., before it briefly returned in 2015, then again from 2016 to 2017, and finally from 2017 to 2018. The show saw a resurgence of popularity in 2021 amongst nostalgic teens and adults, with the songs Castaways and Into the Thick of It going viral on TikTok. And Winx Club was over by now, so why not revive the show? Well, Nickelodeon did in 2024 in the form of a YouTube Kids Slop with kids who can't sing, just a few months after Janice Burgess passed away. Man, Nick has a bad track record with this. I don't think these are AI generated, but you can't tell me they don't look like what an AI would spit out if you asked it to recreate the Backyardigans in the Cocomelon style. Also, Pablo, Uniqua, and Tyrone are the only characters. Between these, they do upload clip compilations of classic episodes, so maybe there'll be a more legitimate revival someday, but I don't think it'd feel the same without Janice Burgess at the helm. And for now, I'm just glad this is the first show in this miniseries that's been allowed to rest, for the most part, with its dignity still intact. Also, hey, Paramount Plus, why do you still only have the first 2 seasons? Someone commented in my last video that I should put these shows in a tier list, so here we go. Let's do the Nick Jr. miniseries tier list, which is distinct from the Ultimate Nick Jr. tier list. This one only includes shows I've given particular focus to in this miniseries. The Upside Down show I kind of consider the precursor to this miniseries. It's the video I did right before Yo Gabba Gabba, and is an honorary Nick Jr. show. Easy S tier. It's probably my favorite preschool show. Gabba is also S tier. It's not perfect, but if you ask which shows on this list mean the most to me, it would be these two. The Fresh Meat Band is C tier. It's right down the middle. There's a lot to appreciate, but just as much to criticize. I don't like it, but I do love it. Band of Spies is F tier. Still the worst show I've ever seen, which I know sounds harsh, but it really feels completely passionless. It was excruciating to watch and is completely worthless. Blue's Clues is another S tier. Still can't beat the Upside Down show. Blues Room is C tier. It's fine. Similar to Fresh Meat Band, the first season is the most average kids show you've ever seen, but I do think it picks up in its second. Dora is D tier. It's bad, but at least it has soul. Backyardigans is also S tier, below Blue's Clues. Tune in next time when I review another show about a singing band of animals who go on adventures, created by a Little Bill alum that got revived in 2024.